This morning I'd like to do a review of these Mountain Mike's European mount skull replicas, and these are kits that you can buy. I had several sets of deer horns just kind of laying around. These were deer that really weren't up to the standard you would want to spend a whole lot of money on a head mount or shoulder mount, but I was feeling guilty because they've been sitting in the garage for years, all except the middle one there. The middle one is a whitetail that I took this year with my grandson, and I was very proud to get it. And the other two are older. The two on the two sides are old mule deer horns from deer I'd killed in the past. And to start with, let me start with the one I bought first. This whitetail, like I say, it was with my grandson got an 8-point the same morning I got this buck, and I wanted to preserve this one as real as possible as far as actual. So the horns that are on there are actually on a section of the skull that was cut out, and this replica is made so that you can screw that on. There's a notch there. You have to have it cut out exact to fit in there, and then there's some epoxy provided, and you screw the skull to the horns on this piece right here. This piece lifts off, and after you get through, you lay this back down on this piece and you screw them together. Well, that was a lot of work, and one of the reasons it was quite a bit of work was because the epoxy that Mountain Mike provided was really no good. And they provided a little thing they called seam filler, and it was really no good either. The epoxy was old, it was hard to work, and anyway, I used it. The next time, to be honest with you, I'd use painter's caulk and do it that way. Because when I got through with these, I found that the plastic, I just really couldn't live with that plastic look. So what I actually did is I mixed up some white acrylic paint that my wife had that she paints with, and it's artist type paint, and I mixed it with a little touch of raw sienna to make this color look more like bone and not as plasticky looking. It looks more like the real bone, as you can see, and it even has a good texture, almost like bone now. I used a flat wide brush, and then before I did that though, I filled in all these seams with painter's caulk, and I think that really makes it look a lot better. And on these horns here, I knew I didn't want to go to that much trouble, so they sell this replica. And basically, this piece comes off like the other, and there's a hole in here and here, and they provide some screws which are really way too long and way too big for what you really need to put these horns on correctly. This horn material is hard to drill out. Anyway, I drilled out the horn and then put the screws in on each side before I laid this back down, and that was a lot easier than doing this one. So if you're looking for quick and easy, I cut these off of the skull that they had been left on for years. I took coffee grounds, darkened them up to where they look more like the natural color, and come back with some clear coat spray and sprayed the horns. Then I come back and painted them with the paint, like I said, with the flat white that I added a little raw sienna to, and I even darkened the teeth, as you can see here, which I think gives it a more realistic look. So the other thing I wanted to show you are these are mounts that Mountain Mike sells, and these Mountain Mike mounts are really nice because the heads, you can see the hole there that's made in there. Just lay on there, and they hang that easy. And then they kind of stand out from the wall and really look cool in this office. This is a little home office we have, and to give you an idea of what they look like in here, I've been real happy with the way they looked and came out. The head replicas are much easier than trying to take all the meat and hide off of one of these deer heads. That can take you forever, and when you get through, a lot of times they just don't look good. My brother did one, and he had to come back and paint kills on it because the bone had discolored so bad. So he basically had a real head, but he wound up having to paint it anyway. They cost about $30 a piece. The hangers cost about $12 a piece. From a money standpoint, they're well worth that, considering the nice look you get with them. Once they're done forever. I mean, that'll last forever. You see how easy it is to take them off and clean them or whatever you want to do. So, the pros, looks good, much easier to do than trying to come up with a true European skull mount. Much less expensive if you hired that done. It would probably cost at least $500 a head to get that done and done correctly. So that's a real big thumbs up, a big pro. The cons, the hardware and accessories that Mountain Mike offers, you can just throw those in the trash. I use painter's caulk, some paint you can buy at any art store, along with a little raw sienna, which will give you, and you can see I've made a little bit different cast of bone color on each one of these heads, so that even makes them look more real. And like I said, I painted the teeth a little bit different color. And so, thumbs up on all that. I say it's a buy. If you like that type of look and you've got some deer horns that you really want to do something with and you don't want to spend a fortune on them, I say have at it. Thank you for watching my videos, and I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. I do do-it-yourself reviews and demos on a wide range of things. That's James T. Thank you, and have a good new year.